Hello everyone, my name is Braden, this is Airless Cool 9, and in today's video we are going to talk about bronze dragons. These are dragons of potential and preservation. They are typically found in coastal regions, and the treasures that they like to keep in their hoards are those found on the implements table of the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide. As you can see here, bronze dragons are very personable. They have a lot of personality. They are a little bit aquatic. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about for bronze dragons. So let's go ahead and get to it. Where bronze dragons dwell, wonders flourish. Imaginative yet mindful, these metallic dragons work towards greatness and help others achieve all they can. They strive to preserve innovations from the works of past civilizations to new discoveries, and they share such works widely. When dealing with shorter-lived beings, bronze dragons prefer to win them over through conversation and cultivation. But they don't shy from battle when villains keep others from achieving their potential. Bronze dragons enjoy the power and endless possibilities of the sea, and they often make their lairs in places of natural beauty or communities they wish to preserve. Within their dwellings, bronze dragons hoard things they believe will be useful one day. They salvage treasure lost to the sea, reclaiming wealth or sunken ships. So yeah, bronze dragons, quite interesting creatures. So let's go ahead and begin talking about their stat blocks. Bronze Dragon Wyrmlings are medium dragons of lawful good alignment. They have an armor class of 15, an initiative of +2. They have 39 hit points, a speed of 30 feet, a fly speed of 60 feet, and a swim speed of 30 feet. For their ability scores, they have a strength of 17, a dexterity of 10, a constitution of 15, an intelligence of 12, a wisdom of 11, and a charisma of 15. For their skills, they have perception at +4 and stealth at +2. They are immune to lightning damage. They have blind sight of 10 feet and dark vision of 60 feet, as well as a passive perception of 14. They know Draconic, and they are a challenge rating 2 creature, giving 450 experience points and a +2 proficiency bonus. The Wyrmling is amphibious, allowing it to breathe air and water, as shown in its amphibious trait. And for its actions, the Wyrmling has a multi-attack, allowing it to make 2 rend attacks. Rend is a melee attacker with a +5 to hit and a reach of 5 feet. And on a hit, it deals 1d10 +3 slashing damage. Lightning Breath is a recharge of 5 to 6. It is a dexterity saving throw DC 12. Each creature in a 40-foot long, 5-foot wide line. On a failure, a target takes 3d10 lightning damage, and on a success, they take half damage. The Bronze Dragon Wyrmling special breath option is called Repulsion Breath. This is a strength saving throw, DC 12, each creature in a 30-foot cone. On a failure, the target is pushed up to 30 feet straight away from the dragon and has the prone condition. So this is a battlefield control breath weapon, which is quite nice. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and talk about the small amount of changes to the Wyrmling stat block. First off, the actual armor class of the Bronze Dragon Wyrmling has been reduced by 2. It used to be 17, it is now 15. Its initiative has increased to +2. That is because it is now proficient in initiative rolls. Its hit points have increased slightly by gaining 1 die. So it is now 6d8 instead of 5d8, so that has changed its hit points accordingly. It has lost proficiency in Constitution and Charisma saving throws. The Wyrmling now has a multi-attack option, which it did not previously have, and its bite is now consolidated into that rend attack, which can be any type of melee attack, be that claws, bite, or tail. The Lightning Breath has not changed at all from its previous counterpart. However, Repulsion Breath is now completely separate from the Lightning Breath, and it is something that the Bronze Dragon Wyrmling can use anytime at once since there's no recharge attached to it. It still has the exact same functionality as it did in 2014, so no changes there. The wording has just changed slightly, so yeah, very few changes here. Mostly defensive changes, if anything, but that addition of the multi-attack is quite nice there for the Wyrmling. So now we can move on to the young Bronze Dragon. So the young Bronze Dragon is a large dragon, also lawful good. It has an armor class of 17, an initiative of +3, has 142 hit points. Its speed is 40 feet, fly speed 80 feet, and it has a swim speed of 40 feet. Its ability scores are Strength 21, Dexterity 10, Constitution 19, Intelligence 14, Wisdom 13, and Charisma 17. Its skills are now Insight +4, Perception +7, and Stealth +3. It still has the same immunity to lightning damage. Its senses have increased. It now has Blind Sight of 30 feet and Dark Vision of 120 feet, and a passive perception of 17. It knows Common and Draconic, and it is an CR8 creature, giving it 3,900 experience points, and has a +3 proficiency bonus. It retains that amphibious trait that we mentioned earlier. Its multi-attack now allows it to make 3 rend attacks, and it can replace 1 attack with a use of repulsion breath. Rend has been increased. It is now a +8 hit and a reach of 10 feet, and it now deals 2d10 +5 slashing damage. Lightning breath has also increased slightly. Its DC is now 15. It is now a 60-foot long, 5-foot wide line, and it now deals 9d10 lightning damage. Repulsing breath is also slightly increased. It is now a DC 15 saving throw, and that cone has not yet increased, but the distance that the target is pushed has been increased to 40 feet. So yeah, those are the only changes from that age category, but let's talk about the 2014 changes here. So the armor class is slightly lower. It used to be 18, it is now 17, but it did retain that proficiency in initiative rolls. It lost its proficiency in Constitution and Charisma saving throws. That multi-attack is now quite different. It used to make 1 bite and 2 claw attacks. Since those attacks have been consolidated into rend, it now just makes 3 rend attacks. But it now has the option of replacing 1 attack with a use of repulsion breath. That is entirely new, so that's a really nice change there. And the lightning breath damage has actually changed slightly. It used to be 10d10, it is now 9d10. So they have lost 1 die there on the lightning breath. But other than that, no other major changes. So yeah, still looking pretty well here. And I like the additional versatility of that multi-attack there. Now we need to take a moment to talk about the Bronze Dragon Lair, since these affect the regions around their homes. So adult and ancient Bronze Dragon Lairs are changed by their presence. These give the following effects in the region surrounding their lair until the dragon dies or it moves its lair elsewhere. Buoying Currents says that creatures within 1 mile of the lair that lack a swim speed ignore the extra cost of movement while swimming, which is pretty cool. Sun and Storms says that while in its lair, the dragon can cast Control Weather, requiring no material components and using the same spellcasting ability as its spellcasting action. When casting the spell this way, the dragon can control the weather within 1 mile of its lair, regardless if the dragon is inside or outside. So that's a pretty nice addition there. So yeah, those are the changes to the Bronze Dragon Lairs. So now let's talk about the adult and ancient Bronze Dragons. So the adult Bronze Dragon is a huge dragon, still lawful good. It has an armor class of 18, an initiative of +10, 212 hit points, a speed of 40 feet, a fly speed of 80 feet, and a swim speed of 40 feet. For its ability scores, it has a strength of 25, a dexterity of 10, a constitution of 23, an intelligence of 16, a wisdom of 15, and a charisma of 20. It is proficient in dexterity and wisdom saving throws, as are all of its other counterparts. It has a +7 insight, +12 perception, and a +5 stealth. It is immune to lightning damage. Blind sight has increased to 60 feet. Dark vision is still 120 feet, and passive perception is now 22. It knows common and draconic. It is a CR 15 creature, granting 13,000 experience points, or 15,000 experience if encountered in its lair. And it has a proficiency bonus of +5. For its traits, the adult bronze dragon still has amphibious, allowing it to breathe air and water. It now has legendary resistance, 3 per day or 4 per day in its lair, which allows the dragon to succeed on any saving throw that it fails. The multi-attack still allows it to make 3 rend attacks, but it can now replace one attack with a use of either Repulsion Breath, or it can use spellcasting and cast Guiding Bolt as a level 2 spell, which is quite nice. Rend has been increased. It is now a +12 to hit, still reach of 10 feet, but its damage is now 2d8 +7 slashing damage, +1d10 lightning damage. Lightning Breath has also been improved. It is now DC 19. It is a 90-foot long, 5-foot wide line, and it deals 10d10 lightning damage. Repulsion Breath has had its DC increased. It is DC 19 now, and the target is pushed up to 60 feet now instead of the 40 feet. Spellcasting is an entirely new trait for the adult bronze dragon. It allows the dragon to cast one of the following spells requiring no material components and using charisma as the spellcasting ability. Spell save DC 17, +10 to hit with spell attacks. At will, it can cast Detect Magic, Guiding Bolt, Shape Change to turn into a beast or humanoid form, Speak with Animals, and Thaumaturgy. And then once per day each, it can cast Detect Thoughts and Water Breathing. Finally, for legendary actions, the adult bronze dragon has 3 uses, or 4 uses in its lair. For the options available to it, it has Guiding Light, which allows it to use spellcasting and cast Guiding Bolt at level 2, Pounce, which allows it to move half its speed and make 1 rend attack, and Thunderclap, which is a Constitution saving throw, DC 17. Each creature in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point the dragon can see within 90 feet. And on a failure, a target takes 3d6 thunder damage, and the target has the deafened condition until the end of its next turn. So, now that we've taken a look at the stat block, let's go ahead and talk about the changes to the 2024 adult bronze. So there actually are quite a few changes here. First off is that armor class. It has been decreased from 19 to an 18. That initiative bonus is entirely new for this adult bronze dragon. It is now double proficient in initiative rolls, which is quite nice. As I've stated previously in the other dragons, they have lost proficiency in Constitution and Charisma saving throws. However, the Charisma score has increased slightly. It used to be 19, it is now 20, so that has changed some of its bonuses. Finally, there's that additional XP bonus, as well as the additional legendary resistance and additional legendary action usage when encountered in its lair. Multi-attack has been changed to where it now can have 1 attack replaced with either a use of Repulsion Breath or spellcasting. Cast that level 2 Guiding Bolt. That's quite nice. We've talked about the changes to Rend already. Just a consolidation of all those physical attacks. Lightning Breath has slightly changed. It used to be 12d10, it is now 10d10, so that has changed the damage there slightly. We've talked about the changes to Repulsion Breath. Spellcasting is entirely new traits, so all those options are entirely new. And then all those legendary actions are entirely new options. Those have replaced the Detect, Kill Attack, and Wing Attack options for the better. It's just a little bit more variety here now. So that is pretty nice to see. Guiding Light is a nice ranged option for the dragon, and then Pounce is a nice melee option. And then Thunderclap is a nice AoE option. So some pretty nice changes here overall. I really like how they've improved legendary actions and action options for these dragons. Finally, the Ancient Bronze Dragon is a gargantuan dragon, armor class of 22, initiative of plus 14, 444 hit points, a speed of 40 feet, a fly speed of 80 feet, and a swim speed of 40 feet. For its ability scores, it has a strength of 29, a dexterity of 10, a constitution of 27, an intelligence of 18, a wisdom of 17, and a charisma of 25. For its skills, it has an insight of plus 10, perception of plus 17, and stealth of plus 7. Still immune to lightning damage, of course. Its senses have not changed other than the passive perception increased to 27. Still knows common and draconic. It is a challenge rating at 22 creature, granting 41,000 experience points or 50,000 experience points in its lair, and its proficiency bonus is now plus 7. It still has the amphibious and legendary resistance traits. However, legendary resistance has increased to 4 times per day or 5 times per day in its lair. We still have all the same multi-attack options as the adult version. Those have not changed at all. However, Rend is now a plus 16 to hit and a reach of 15 feet, and it now deals 2d8 plus 9 slashing damage plus 2d8 lightning damage. Lightning Breath is now a DC 23, 120 foot long, 10 foot wide line, and deals 15d10 lightning damage. Repulsion Breath is now a DC 23 strength save, and it still pushes the target 60 feet away. Spellcasting has had its spell save DC increased to 22, and it has a plus 14 to hit with spell attacks. As for the extra spells, it has gained some additional spells in this form. Once per day each, it can now cast Detect Thoughts, Control Water, Scrying, and Water Breathing. And then finally, the Guiding Light and Pounce legendary actions are still the same. However, Thunderclap has slightly changed. It is now a DC 22 Constitution saving throw, and the damage has slightly changed to that 3d8 from its previous counterpart. I believe that is slightly different. I could be wrong. I believe it was 3d6 before. So yeah, there's those changes there. So a lot of the changes to the 2014 stat block are very similar to the ones that we've discussed before. That higher initiative score, no changes to its defensives except for that loss of constitution and charisma saving throw proficiency. However, its charisma score has increased from 21 to 25 in this version, so that's a large increase. Finally, there's those additional bonuses to its experience points, its number of lair actions, and legendary resistances when encountered in its lair. That's entirely new. It has that new multi-attack that it had in its adult form. Randa's had its damage increased. The Lightning Breath used to deal 16d10 lightning damage. It is now 15d10, so do with that as you will. Spellcasting is entirely new trait for it. And then finally, all those legendary actions are entirely new for the Ancient Bronze Dragon. So yeah, some pretty neat changes. I really like how these new metallic dragons allow the dragons to replace 1 or 2 attacks with a use of their special breath option. Granted, in the brass dragon, which we talked about yesterday, that option was, or the sleep breath is quite potent, so that's why it replaced 2 attacks. This repulsion breath is pretty much just a crowd control thing, but it's nice that you can replace 1 attack with it, because not only will it free up the area around this dragon, but it's really nice just to keep creatures away from it and allow it to move wherever it needs to in the battlefield to make sure that it is in control of the situation. I also really like the option of using Guiding Bolt as a ranged option in both its multi-attack and legendary actions if it needs to. Just a nice addition to have there. And a level 2 Guiding Bolt isn't really that bad, honestly. It's a nice damage, 5d6, so yeah, some pretty cool options here, and I really appreciate what they've done to these stat blocks to make them just a little bit more versatile and a lot more interesting in combat. So yeah, some very nice changes here overall. But yeah, that's going to be it for Bronze Dragons. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel, and you can see one of these videos every weekday. We're going through every creature in the 2024 Monster Manual, so keep an eye out for those videos. Next on our list for this week are going to be Bugbears, Bullets, and finally Bullywugs. And that'll be the rest of the bees. So keep an eye out for those videos in the next 3 days. So yeah, until then, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you so much, and enjoy these nice images of the Bronze Dragon. Catch you all in the next one.